Thank you. So first of all, I would like to thank and congratulate elets team for putting on such a beautiful show, such a wonderful show. It has been a great value add, great speeches by seniors in the first half. Okay, and one very important thing, cooperative banks, banks by the people for the people, right? So I'm going to talk about changing landscape of banking and banking in India, banking and IT in India. Okay, all of us have been talking about financial inclusion since morning. I think Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. PM has envisaged that every household should have a bank account. Every household should have a pension plan, should have a credit facility. 15% growth in internet adoption year on year. Okay, so I think 19% of Indians are using internet, but the internet adoption is growing at a rate of 15% year on year, which is a very high rate of growth. The Digital India program, so National Information Infrastructure, the program driven by Government of India, where Government of India thinks of having the Digital India, the India getting connected completely. So programs like NKN, National Knowledge Network, programs like optical fiber network, programs like SWAN, state-wide area networks are there in place, which will make sure that internet is available to each and every village. Okay, internet is available to each and every household, right? Mobile banking. Mobile banking. We've been talking about mobile transactions today. Every one of us are hooked on smartphones, right? So the mobile banking transactions are growing at the rate of 45% year on year. Okay. So today, be it a cooperative bank, be it any bank, today banking has to happen anytime. Okay, from any place and from any device. So that's something what as bankers we'll have to make sure. Some of the recent trends in the CBS, in the cooperative segment, is what we've seen as a CBS upgrade. I'm taking cue from Mr. Abir's input of having shared infrastructure services. So today, look at cloud. Today, you look at shared infrastructure services which are available, right? To leverage on that, it is very important, and to scale up to the ever-growing requirements, it is very important that we look at a CBS upgrade. I'm sure most of us have CBS upgrade things at the back of our mind, right? If we consider CBS upgrade, scaling up our network architecture is also very important, right? It is very important to be geared up for the mobile banking and the internet banking, because the number of transactions are just going to keep on increasing on mobile banking and internet banking. So the customer service, the customer experience today is very important. You talk about CBS in case if you do a web-based CBS, or you talk about internet banking, web or mobile banking, your end user response times or your end user experience is going to be very important, right? So so coming to what we do. Okay, so we fall into a segment which is called as application delivery networking. Okay, we talk about solutions which are from L4 to L7. Okay, and how do we complement or we help banks scale up to these ever-growing requirements and to match up with these latest trends is what I'm going to talk about. Okay, so these are the basic three product lines that we have. Okay, so if you look at our product line APV series, application delivery controllers. Okay, we talk about availability, we talk about scalability, we talk about performance, we talk about security. Okay, so this is one device, okay, which will make sure that all your resources are available all the time. Okay, this is basically a load balancing device, okay, which will make sure that you get 99.999% availability. So in case if your server goes down or your link is down or your application is not responding, okay, you fail over from one resource to next available resource. Okay, in case if the complete DC goes down, you fail over from one data center to the other data center. It can be DC, it can be DR. Okay, we talk about scalability. Okay, we talk about performance. So this device acts like a web accelerator, okay, where your end user response times are improved by around 75 to 80%, right? So today, if we talk about internet banking, the number of hits which are going to come on your web servers are going to increase, okay, and your end user response time is going to matter, right? You look at the number of transactions which are increasing day by day. So, this device makes sure that, your end user response time is improved by around 75 to 80%. We talk about security. So this device is basically a reverse proxy device, okay, which sits before your web servers. All the connections comes on this device and it initiates a new connection to the backend server. So as per RBI guidelines or as per regulatory guidelines, it is very important to have a reverse proxy architecture in place, okay. So we talk about security over there. We talk about a web application firewall again on the same box. The next product which we have is a AG series SSL VPN device. So this device will make sure that we enable secure remote access, access from any handled device, okay, securely without installing any client, okay, and with a two-factor authentication solution in place. So consider a CBS application, okay, where people are logging in and accessing from any device anywhere. This device will make sure that there is an encrypted tunnel which is formed from the end user, handheld device or a laptop device to your data center where your applications are actually hosted with second level of authentication. So that device itself will act like a second level of authentication, or we have a full-fledged two-factor authentication solution which will make sure that it's an authenticated user who is accessing. Then we have this, Accelera, okay, which improves your application response times and data transfer rates and improves your bandwidth utilization. So you have, say, a scenario where you have a DCDR in place and you want to improve your RPO and RTO. You want to improve your data replication time. Okay, this device will take care of that. So here are some of the unique solution offerings that we have. So one very important thing from an acceleration perspective, what we do is, offload your SSL certificate. Today, if you see, our certificates have become 204-bit encrypted. When we talk about web-based applications, we actually install these SSL certificates on our web servers, okay? And the web server has to, perform this resource-intensive, encryption, decryption activity. So it will basically decrypt your SSL packet and, pass the HTTP request to the backend available resources, web servers or app servers. What we do is we install the SSL certificate on this device instead of installing it on a web server, okay? And make sure that this resource-intensive activity is performed on our box instead of doing it on the web servers. So that's a very unique thing. Like I told you, connection broker. So as per compliance guidelines, connection broker or reverse proxy needs to be in front of the applications. Okay, it has to be front-ending the applications. Okay, one very important thing what we do is IPv6 migration. I mean, I'm sure IPv6 compliance is something which is again on our minds. Okay, everybody is looking at IPv6 compliance, and IPv6 compliance talks about having your customer facing applications IPv6 ready. So this particular device which we have does exactly that. It allows your IPv6 IP schema to work along with your IPv4 applications or infrastructure which you have. So just by putting one device, okay, you can allow your IPv4 and IPv6 to coexist. VSAT optimization, I mean, financial inclusion, would include, opening branches at remote locations, where probably MPLS connectivity would not be feasible. Okay, so you would go for VSAT kind of technology where VSAT latency is very high, so you would need optimization solutions. We also have a multi-authentication 2FA solution, again as per RBI guidelines, to meet the two-way authentication. Now, if you look at a typical network, I mean, I think we all are familiar with this. This is a typical network that our banks might be having. Okay, so just to shortly give you a brief. Okay, where all our devices are placed. Okay, so if you look at link load balancer at a perimeter level. Okay, this device installed at a perimeter level does your link load balancing as well as your IPv6 compliance, so that your IPv6 packet is converted to IPv4 packet and sent to a backend web or app server. Okay, then you have ADC installed in your internet DMZ. Okay, for doing your internet banking or mobile banking. Okay, acceleration, load balancing. Okay, you have the same ADC in your intranet DMZ for doing core banking application load balancing or web acceleration. okay, you have a WAN optimization solution, okay, which will, like I told you, which will improve your DCDR replication. You also have a GSLB solution, okay, where, so today, I mean, everyone has a challenge of doing a DR drill. All of us need to do a DR drill once in 3 months at least, okay. To do that DR drill, what we do is we request our DNS service provider to, change the A record, okay, and define DR A record, okay. What we can do is, we have a DNS resolution, solution available on the box, okay, which does something called as NAT64, NAT46, and, DCDR failover, okay. So your A records are resolved by this box, okay, and your automated DCDR failover happens. So, when you wish to do a DCDR failover, instead of going and informing a DNS service provider and he takes 48 hours, you can do it in 5 minutes. That is what you can do using a GSLB functionality. So we have multiple cooperative banks, okay. Almost every cooperative bank we are trying to approach them and have an install base. Okay, this is one case study, okay, where a cooperative bank was doing their CBS upgrade from a legacy client server architecture to a web-based CBS architecture. Major challenge which they had was, they were looking at a high availability, scalability, and acceleration solution, okay. DCDR failover, like I told you, was again a challenge for internet-facing applications. IPv6 compliance was a challenge, okay. How do they comply to the IPv6 guidelines? Okay, to maintain the RPO and RTO for database replication traffic between DC and DR was again a challenge. Okay, and slow application response while accessing applications through branches again was a challenge. So the solutions which we gave was, array APV series, okay, the hardware, and a WAN optimization solution, okay, which made sure that, the applications are available always, like I told you, by, doing the load balancing solution, okay, failover from one available resource to the other available resource, okay, 75 to 80% improvement in the end user response time of web-based applications, okay, automated DCDR failover using GSLB functionality on array DC. Array IPv6 gateway again ensured that, the compliance to the regulatory guidelines is matched by doing DNS64 and NAT64. WAN optimization solution makes sure that, your data DCDR replication is improved by around 75 to 80%. This is again one case study of a large PSU bank, okay, where it was a SAP application, and it was a SAP web-based application, SAP HRMS, where around 350,000 employees accessed the application at the same time, and again the same acceleration plus scalability solution was useful for them. These are some of our named cooperative banking customers. Some of them are present here. We are very proud to have them, and they are highly referenceable customers. Right, so different platforms, different scenarios, we've installed our solution. Short brief about our company. It's a US-based company founded in 2000. Okay, headquartered in Milpitas, California. Okay, like I told you, we are into application delivery networking market. Okay, having 3 products: ADC, WAN optimization, and secure remote access. Okay. We have 30 plus patents in technology. So SSL offloading being our forte, we have around 30 plus patents in SSL offloading, 5,000 plus customers worldwide, and 400 plus employees. That's it. Thank you.